morning in downtown Chicago moved like a machine that never slept. Cars honked in impatient rhythms, trains groaned overhead, and people poured onto the sidewalks with their eyes fixed forward, as if the ground itself might slow them down. Daniel Harrington walked among them, perfectly in step with the city's pulse. His charcoal coat was buttoned just right, his leather shoes untouched by slush, his mind already locked onto the board meeting waiting for him 20 floors above the street. For Daniel, life had always been about habits. Wake at 5, gym at 5:30, news at 6, meetings stacked like bricks in a wall. He believed habits were what separated winners from those who fell behind. They had pulled him out of a childhood spent in a cramped apartment with overdue bills and a father who never showed up. Habits had made him a millionaire. "Sir, can you buy my doll?" The voice was small, almost swallowed by the noise. Daniel didn't break stride. He had trained himself not to. Years of walking these streets had taught him that stopping once meant stopping 100 times. His habit was simple. Don't look, don't listen, keep moving. "Please," the voice came again, closer now. "Mommy hasn't eaten in 3 days." Daniel's steps slowed before his mind could argue back. He turned. The girl stood near a closed bakery, the windows papered over. She was thin, bundled in a jacket too light for the winter wind. Her dark curls peeked out from beneath a faded pink cap. In her hands, she held a plastic doll, scratched, one shoe missing, its face marked with pen where a child had tried to redraw a smile. A few feet behind her, partly hidden by the alley's shadow, sat a woman wrapped in a gray blanket. Her face was hollow, eyes tired but alert, watching her daughter with a mix of pride and fear. Daniel felt a familiar tightening in his chest. Pity, discomfort, the urge to end the moment quickly. "How much?" he asked, already reaching for his wallet. The girl shook her head. "You don't have to buy it," she said softly. "I just wanted you to see her." She lifted the doll carefully. "I keep her clean. She's all I have that's still nice." The words stopped him cold. Daniel crouched down, the icy pavement seeping through his trousers. He noticed the girl's fingers, red and cracked, nails neatly trimmed despite everything. That detail unsettled him more than the rest. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lena," she replied. "My mommy's Sarah." She glanced back at the woman. "She says habits matter, even when you're poor, like saying thank you, or brushing your hair so you don't forget who you are." Daniel followed her gaze. Sarah managed a weak, embarrassed smile. "I'm sorry," Daniel said, the phrase automatic, rehearsed. Lena studied his face carefully. "Most people say that," she said. "Then they go away. I think that's their habit." The word habit landed like a quiet accusation. Daniel straightened slowly. His phone buzzed. Another reminder, another demand. He could still walk away. That was who he had trained himself to be. Instead, he hesitated. "Wait here," he said, surprising himself. "I'll be back." Lena's eyes widened with cautious hope. "Promise." Daniel nodded once and turned, walking toward the street, but this time, something inside him felt different. For the first time in years, his strongest habit, looking away, had cracked. Downtown Chicago buzzed like a living thing. The cold morning air bit at exposed skin, steam curled from manhole covers, and the endless tide of people flowed through the streets like a river of purpose. Daniel Harrington strode through it all, coat buttoned, shoes shining, phone glued to his ear. Every second of his morning was mapped, every movement planned. Habits had built his empire, habits had made him untouchable. Nothing could distract him, not noise, not weather, not please. "Sir, can you buy my doll?" The voice was tiny, barely rising above the roar of the city. Daniel didn't pause. He never paused. Habits, after all, were what separated winners from everyone else. Ignore distractions. Keep moving. Achieve. Always achieve. But then, please, mommy hasn't eaten in 3 days. It sliced through the bustle like a knife. Something inside him stumbled. He turned sharply. A little girl stood near a closed storefront, clutching a battered plastic doll with a crooked smile and one missing shoe. Her dark curls spilled from a worn knit cap. Her jacket was too thin, sleeves frayed, and her shoes scuffed from too many steps on freezing concrete. Behind her, in the shadow of the alley, a woman wrapped in a threadbare blanket sat slumped against the wall, watching silently. Daniel's chest tightened. The city's hum faded to background noise. For the first time in a long while, he saw, really saw, someone. Not a statistic, not a problem to be solved later. A human. "How much?" he asked, instinctively reaching for his wallet. The girl shook her head, her tiny face serious. "You don't have to buy her. I wanted you to see her." She's all I have, that's still nice. Daniel felt his pulse quicken. Her voice was small but fierce, full of dignity despite hunger, cold, and exhaustion. She held the doll as if it were a treasure. Because to her, it was. He crouched down on the icy pavement. Her fingers were red and cracked, yet she clutched the doll with careful precision. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lena," she said. "Mommy's Sarah. She says habits matter, even when things are bad. Like brushing your hair or saying thank you. That keeps you human." Daniel followed her gaze to the woman in the blanket. Sarah's eyes glimmered with gratitude and shame all at once. "I'm sorry," Daniel said automatically. Words he'd said 1,000 times, always polite, always empty. Lena tilted her head, peering at him with eyes too old for her years. "Most people say that and then leave. That's their habit." The word habit hit him like a punch. His heart thudded in his chest. The city's rush, his meetings, his perfectly organized life, all of it felt hollow. "Wait here," he said, without fully understanding why. "I'll be back." Her eyes sparkled with cautious hope. "Really?" He nodded. And as he strode away, past the honking cars and rushing crowd, he realized something extraordinary. For the first time in years, the habit that had always protected him, looking away, had been broken. And something inside him was roaring with excitement, a fire he hadn't felt in decades. Today, everything could change. If you want, I can also expand scene 2 in the same, excited 2 inches style with 500 to 600 words, full of emotion and tension so the story flows perfectly. Do you want me to do that next?